Alright guys, so over on the JP version of the game, we're continuing the road to Lostbelt 7, and now we have the 5.2 campaign, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna hold you, this is probably the most disappointing campaign we've gotten to date. There's barely anything in here. I mean, most of these are like small little updates, but like, just gonna go ahead and rip the band-aid off here. There's not a lot of Saint Quartz to get. There's no servant buffs. Even the summoning campaign is a little bit disappointing. So this is going to be more me kind of tearing into it because I don't know why they thought this would be kind of like an acceptable campaign, because there's just not really anything going on here. And it's super, super disappointing, especially when we just got like the 5.1 campaign not a week prior that was like infinitely better than what we got here. But we're going to talk about that in today's video. If you have not already, make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe to the channel for daily FGO content. Also, I do stream every weekday over on my Twitch, although for the next about, I would say 6 days, not really going to be streaming because I'm going to be out of state. But normally, I do stream every weekday. So go check out the Twitch, which is linked down in the description down below. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. So first and foremost, all right, we have the interludes that all of the different Lostbelt campaigns actually bring to us, where you can usually get a hefty amount of Saint Quartz. Well, maybe not hefty, but usually in the ballpark of like maybe 10 to 16 Saint Quartz if you haven't done any of the interludes, if you don't have any of the servants. And this one, you get a whopping 6 Saint Quartz. It's like, oh my goodness, hold on to your britches. You know, like, I don't know why, and you'll notice for a lot of this campaign, they actually really committed to the whole data loss thing for Musashi, because she ain't anywhere to be seen in this. In fact, let's just go to the summoning campaign. Well, this is not a bad banner. Musashi's not here. Now, I understand them being like, okay, well, she's data lost. You know, we lost Musashi in 5.2, but she's a huge part of Lostbelt 5.2, right? Like, I don't know why she's almost excluded from all of this. It's very, very strange. And I guess that's the other thing. You'll notice that nowhere in here are any like buffs or anything, or any like new upgrades for any of these servants, which, you know, I know we were doing a lot of speculation, you know, and I was reading a lot of people's ideas in the comments, and I thought a lot of them were really, really good. And they just kind of took all of those and were like, what if we just did none of those at all whatsoever? And I'm like, dog, like, there's a lot of servants related to 5.2 that could have used something. Like, not even Canis. Like, Canis is a little on the weaker side. Dioscurry, while I think they're really, really good, they probably could have used just a nice little buff here or there. Maybe like an NP upgrade is even really good, because maybe their damage is a little bit lacking. You know, same thing for Europa, you could have given her something. Romulus didn't really need anything because he's already still pretty broken. But I don't know, it just feels really, I don't know, lazy, tacked on. If you were just going to pretty much give us nothing, why did you not combine 5.1 and 5.2 into the same campaign? I know why they didn't do that, because they are different stories. You know, Atlantis and Olympus are different parts of the Lostbelt. So yeah, I understand giving them their own little, I guess, events or campaigns, right? But I don't know, it's just, I don't really get it. I don't really get it. If you're going to basically do nothing, why make this a separate thing? And if you're going to exclude a lot of people, also, why actually make it a thing? Because this is, I don't know, good if you really want a specific servant, I guess, because it's not as full as some of the other banners, but they're split rate ups, right? Like, they're not like, you don't have 2 of the 5 stars on rate up at the same time. Well, not unless you like on these little banners right there, but you guys know what I'm saying. I mean, you still have the super recollection quests, right, which are literally harder versions of the normal not recollection, but normal boss fights in the Lostbelt, right? They just chock them full of a lot of HP. But I don't really know if any of these are going to be like that hard to do. I mean, again, because like, I don't know, the 5.2 fights, they didn't pick any of the ones that were like super annoying. Like, if they did the Wotamine fight where he's pretty much immune to everything, and they gave that boy like 4 million HP, I think I would lose my mind. Because I don't know if it would be hard, I just think it would be really, really annoying to do. They didn't do the Demeter fight, which I think tells me that they kind of know at least something, because if they made the Demeter fight one of these super recollection quests, I think I would lose my mind. Then again, these can still be very annoying to get through, so I don't know. It's just disappointing. It's just disappointing because they could have done literally anything, as we've seen with a lot of these other quests, and they just kind of chose to go with nothing, right? They did not do really anything with 5.2 at all. I don't know. It's just weird. It's just strange. 6 Saint Quartz is still fine, right? If you haven't done any of these, it's still okay. It's better than nothing, I suppose. You can still get your 3 tickets even if you can't beat the like super Giga Chad version of these boss fights, even though most of these are just like stall and you'll kind of be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of the whole deal with a lot of these like big chungus versions of these boss fights. It's just make sure you're alive. So you bring like a stall team. I don't know. The campaign's not bad though, the summoning campaign at the very least. Campaign as a whole, I don't think is very good. Let's not misunderstand those two, but the summoning campaign is not bad. I think most people are really just going to be summoning for Romulus, so you're going to want to catch him during this timetable right here. Romulus is still very, very good. You could cheese a lot of stuff with him. You can use him for farming. His damage is pretty good. Dioscuri is still one of the better arts DPS servants in the game, although if you've got like Melusine, or especially you've got like Eris or something like that, or MHXX, you're probably just going to use them over Dioscuri. But if you guys come out to the streams, you know, you'll see that I use them all the time still over in the JP version of the game, and they put in that work, bro. They do some pretty good work. So they're still very good if you want to go summon for them. I just don't think I'd go out of my way to summon for them, because as you'll see, so like if you see like little stars by them, they're limited. See, these are like story locked. They have no restrictions. You can pretty much get them on any banner. Same thing for Europa. While I also think Europa's pretty good, and I think she's very underrated, I don't think they're worth like going out of your way to summon for, right? Especially on JP, where the whole name of the game is like, we have no idea what's coming out, right? It's not NA where we have this clairvoyance, where even clairvoyance on NA is kind of getting a little messed up because they're just like, hey, random Jolter banner, right? So it's, I guess, more like JP in that aspect. But the point is that NA, we kind of know what's coming up. On JP, we don't, and I don't think I would spend my Saint Quartz on servants that are available on every single banner, right? Like, I think you should smartly use your Saint Quartz to summon for either limited servants that return, or wait for like a new really broken and good servant to come out, because who knows what they're going to do, right? After Summer 7, I'm pretty much just like, all right, I guess all bets are off. You guys could drop 3 new banners with new 5 stars, new 4 stars, where like all the 5 stars are really broken. One of the 4 stars is extremely broken in Eris, and then you're also just going to drop the Summer 6 banner, which has another 2 5 stars on it, right? Once we had that, I was like, all right, all bets are off. They could drop like crazy banners, like not just a crazy banner featuring one new insanely good servant. They could drop 3 of them whenever they want. So bottom line, I think this campaign sucks. And I think Romulus is worth summoning for if you want to go for him. Dioscuri, Europa, while both really good, I would probably just say save your Saint Quartz and see what comes out next. We are getting really close to the end of the campaign as a whole. Like, we're almost at Lostbelt 7, but B, November we should be getting the Lostbelt 6 campaign, which means Morgan's coming back, Melusine's coming back, and they're both really insane. This also means that Barghest and Sith should also be coming back as well, who aren't as insane, but they are still very popular. And so if you want to try to get an opportunity at picking them up, that's going to be next month. And I think that's probably also more bang for your buck, right? But with all that being said, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe somebody in the comments would be like, hey, ZTL, you big dummy. What about instead of just the Saint Quartz and the lack of servant buffs, what about the super recollection quest just being really fun? Which, I don't know, they're not really my thing. I don't really like just fighting like the same boss I've already beaten, but they're like, but what if it was thicker? You know, it's not really my thing. But I don't know, maybe somebody could give me the silver lining. Maybe somebody will be like, hey man, the fact that the campaign sucks means that, like, you're not tempted to summon on the banner, right? Like, let's say Musashi got a buff and then she was thrown on the summoning campaign. It's like, wouldn't that make it more tempting to summon? I don't really know. But with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, late, guys.